What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. The 2023 playoff is shaping up to be one of the better playoffs in recent memory. I'll just give a quick update of how the standings look right now. The Nuggets and Suns are set to play tonight as of this recording. The Kings and Warriors are tied at 3 apiece, with Kings forcing Game 7, which I think is scheduled to be either tomorrow or Monday. The Knicks have beat the Cavs in 5, and I'm a Knicks fan, and I was actually at Game 4. Best experience of my life, going to MSG and hearing that crowd. Miami beat Milwaukee in 5, which must be, I think in a lot of eyes, the upset of the playoffs so far, because Milwaukee was number 1, and Miami came in through the play-in. Jimmy Butler, Himmy, has to be different. He's a different breed in the playoffs. But I feel like that would be a different video for a different time. As mentioned before, Phoenix has eliminated the Clippers. Westbrook played a lot better, getting traded from one LA team to the other. He seems like he played a lot more comfortable. It's just a shame that Kawhi and Paul George can't be healthy at the same time. Now news that Kawhi torn his meniscus, so I don't even know if he'll ever be 100% again, 100% ever again, which is unfortunate because he's a great player. I'll always say I don't think he should have left the Toronto Raptors when he got traded in 2019. Seemed like Nick Nurse knew how to keep him healthy and and let him continue playing at such a high level that we all just love to see. The Sixers swept Brooklyn, and they have had the most time off because they swept, and they've had at least like a week and a half off so far. Boston beat Atlanta in 6, which is kind of surprising. Trae Young struggled in the first couple of games, but then towards the end, he finally started being Ice Trae again, but it just wasn't enough to eliminate Boston, which I don't think anybody would have thought would have happened, but it still would have been crazy if that happened. I think that series was kind of, a lot of people thought Boston would have swept Atlanta as well, but Ice Trae wasn't just going away, and they forced a game 6, but that's where it ended. In this video, I want to talk specifically about the Warriors and Kings. I feel like this is the most intriguing matchup. The number 3 Kings Sacramento, and I think this was their first playoff appearance in 16 years. The light the beam thing has to be one of the coolest things I've ever seen, but the young and I guess inexperienced Kings in the playoffs are going against one of the most experienced teams in the Warriors, who kind of played a little bad in the season, I guess, if you define bad, I guess, but they ended at 6th in the West. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but the Lakers yesterday eliminated the Grizzlies, and that's a whole thing in itself with them just doing whatever to LeBron, but they found out the hard way. But yeah, this video I want to talk about the Warriors versus Kings. I think if you ask the average NBA fan, if you ask them to think about the Golden State Warriors, I'm sure they'd go back to 2015, think about the season where they had the 73-9 record. The season after that, Kevin Durant would join the team. They would go on to three-peat for the NBA championship from 2015 to 2018. After that, Durant left, and I don't want to say the Warriors were in limbo, but after winning so much, I think more teams balanced out and more superstars started to team up with each other. In 2019, they were in the finals against the Toronto Raptors, and that was a season where Kawhi Leonard, as I mentioned before, he got traded to that team, and they ended up winning the whole thing with his first season there. After that, they missed the finals when it was Phoenix and Milwaukee, where Milwaukee won their first championship. And the season after that, they ended up coming back to the finals and winning the whole thing, beating Boston. So in the 2023 playoffs, the ones right now, it's interesting because they're playing the Sacramento Kings, and this season for them, I don't want to say it was a little tricky, but because, as I mentioned before, more teams were balancing out with superstars joining each other and things like that. And Klay Thompson came back from very severe leg injuries. So Steve Kerr was very optimistic about playing him in back-to-back, and I don't think he played in a single back-to-back game the entire season. And with Andrew Wiggins missing a a lot of time towards the end of the season due to personal reasons. The Warriors were kind of slipping below the standings, and a lot of people didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. But this is the Warriors, Steph Curry, we're talking about. Steph Curry did his thing. He went off. I believe he got injured, but I think he ended up coming back and still played at a great rate. Klay Thompson proved in other I don't know how else to say it, proved all the haters wrong, because a lot of people said he needs to like accept his role and come off the bench, and he's not that great of a shooter anymore. But he, towards the end, like middle half towards the end of the season, he was dropping like 30 points like it was nothing all over again. Jordan Poole is still there, Draymond Green. But in this video, there is one person I want to talk specifically about, who I feel like doesn't get enough shine. And I want to talk about this specifically in the playoffs, not so much the regular season, and that is Kevon Looney. I feel like Kevon Looney is one of the main reasons why the Warriors and Kings series is as close as it is, and I just want to talk about that for a little bit. So I just realized that when I was talking about the finals in the past previous years, I forgot to mention the 2020 finals, and that was the bubble year during the pandemic, and that was between the Lakers and Miami, which the Lakers won. I just wanted to mention that because as I was listening to it again, I realized I completely forgot about that. I don't know why. But yeah, back to Kevon Looney. So in this video, I want to do it a little bit different than my underrated series that I have been going on. Also, if you haven't checked my last two videos in my underrated series, I did Kyle Anderson and DeAnthony Melton. Be sure to check those out. But in this one, I don't want to really give a complete career overview, because I just really want to talk about the present day and how he's playing right now, specifically in the playoffs. I'll throw up the stats in the one of the next couple of minutes, and I just want to go over them very quick. Before getting into the stats, I just wanted to give a very brief summary of Looney's career. He was drafted out of UCLA in 2015 by the Warriors in the first round with the 30th pick, and I feel like this was a great time to get drafted by the Warriors, because this was right when their dynasty era was peaking. For over his career, for the last 8 years, he's averaged 5 points, 6 rebounds, and 1.6 assists. He primarily played as a backup center to whoever was starting for the Warriors. But I feel like after this past season, or the past two seasons, and especially after this playoff performance, I feel like he'd get more of the starting nod going forward. Here are Looney's stats against the Kings. The first two games, it seemed like he was warming up, but in Game 3 on April 20th, he had 4 points, 20 rebounds, and 9 assists. Not even in a playoff game, but in a regular game. That's crazy, but this was in a playoff game. The game following that, he had 8 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists. And then after that, and this was in Sacramento, he wasn't even in home court, he had 4 points, 22 rebounds, and 7 assists. And followed that with 13 rebounds. I feel like Looney is really coming into his own, and one of those players that knows his role rather than trying to be the main scorer or one of the main facilitators. He's a center, and I think he's embracing that with the amount of rebounds he's getting. And this is over Sabonis, Trey Lyles, people who are actually like really like elite defenders, and he's getting these type of rebounds over him. And the rebound specifically is what really shocked, I guess, most people, was because having that amount of rebounds is absolutely insane. In playoff games, in regular games, it doesn't matter. Having 20 plus gives your team such a defensive anchor, and like those could be offensive boards too, so second chance points. These games could be settled by 1 or 2 more points, so those offensive rebounds could be the difference maker. And I feel like he's one of the main reasons why the Warriors are still in the series, because Sacramento started 2-0, and now they won the last two, and then they went back and forth with the Kings. So Looney playing like the way he is and being this defensive anchor, I think he's really one of the series MVP. It could be Curry with his scoring, it could be Klay with his scoring, Jordan Poole, Draymond, but I really think Looney is very underrated in the series. I feel like more people is realizing his potential and how he could actually become maybe a starting center on a team if he ever gets traded, or as I mentioned before, if the Warriors decide to start him at the five. But having over 20 rebounds and consistently is absolutely insane. So that brings me towards the end of the video. Please, guys, comment, like, and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys think of the current playoffs. I honestly, as I said in the beginning of the video, feel like this playoff is shaping up to be one of the best in recent memory. It kind of seems unpredictable with Miami upsetting the number one Bucks. The Knicks are finally playing well, and they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. That I am super excited for. I think that series between Miami and New York is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be a dogfight. Um, if I'm being honest, I want Sacramento to advance um, over the Warriors just because I'm a really big fan of De'Aaron Fox and DeMontis Sabonis. I'm a really big fan, and I feel like they're playing like one of their best basketballs. The whole like the beam thing, that culture is so cool. But please, guys, let me know what you guys think down below, and who do you think is going to win the 2023 NBA Finals? I think the championship, if healthy, I think it will be Phoenix, honestly. I think Durant helps Chris Paul get his first ring, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thanks, and I'll catch you in the next one.